On June 24, 2022, in the Nagla Mawati area of Agra district, Uttar Pradesh, the security guard of Om Shri Platinum Society felt something extremely heavy had fallen from the fourth floor of the building with a loud thud. Simultaneously, he also heard the sound of glass shattering. This sound wasn't just heard by the guard, but also by the residents of the building. People rushed out of their homes, running downstairs in panic. The guard also reached the spot from where the sound had come. But when he and the residents arrived, they were stunned. Instead of some object, there was a girl lying on the ground, her hands tied with a rope. Two individuals were present near the girl, attempting to untie her hands. The girl lived on the fourth floor of the building. Initially, everyone assumed Ritika had committed suicide. However, when the police began investigating, they discovered it wasn't suicide, but murder. Furthermore, it was revealed that the person who had thrown Ritika from the fourth floor was merely a pawn. The mastermind behind this crime was instructing everything over the phone. The horrifying truth of this incident shook the entire state of Uttar Pradesh to its core. Ritika Singh was originally from Ghaziabad. Her father's name was Surendra Suri, and her mother's name was Manju Singh. Ritika also had a younger brother. Her father, Surendra, worked in a shoe factory in Ghaziabad. Ritika, a 21-year-old girl, was stunningly beautiful. Wherever she went, people couldn't help but admire her beauty. After completing her 12th grade from an English medium school, Ritika enrolled in a BSc program. Since childhood, she often visited her maternal grandparents' home during school holidays, accompanied by her mother and younger brother. People in her grandparents' neighborhood also knew her well. A boy named Akash Gautam, who lived next door to Ritika's maternal grandparents, began liking her because of her beauty. As Ritika and Akash grew older, Akash's feelings for her deepened. However, Ritika only considered him a friend. In 2014, when Ritika visited her grandparents' house in Firozabad, Akash proposed to her, but Ritika rejected his proposal. Akash, madly in love with Ritika, began following her everywhere she went. He proposed to her multiple times, but Ritika rejected him every time. One day, when Ritika was alone at home, Akash broke into her house, kidnapped her, and took her to a distant place. What happened there was beyond anyone's imagination. Meanwhile, Ritika's family filed a police report accusing Akash Gautam of kidnapping their daughter. The police began searching for them, but there was no trace of either Akash or Ritika. 7 days later, Ritika suddenly returned home. What she told her family left them utterly shocked. She confessed that she had fallen in love with Akash Gautam and wanted to marry him. However, she had no idea how Akash's love would eventually destroy her life. After kidnapping Ritika, Akash took her to an isolated place. There, he confessed his deep love for her and promised to keep her happy. Despite his pleas, Ritika repeatedly refused, saying her family would never approve of their marriage because he wasn't well educated or employed. To convince her, Akash claimed he had recently passed a railway exam and would soon get a good job. Over those 7 days, Akash didn't harm Ritika physically. This made her believe in his love, as she thought that if he didn't love her, he would have mistreated her by now. Eventually, Ritika trusted Akash's words and they returned to Ghaziabad together. As soon as they arrived, the police arrested Akash. However, Ritika told the police she had willingly gone with him and there was no abduction. Based on her statement, the police had to release Akash. A few days later, Ritika informed her parents that she wanted to marry Akash Gautam. Her family strongly opposed the marriage. They tried to explain that Akash wasn't a good person. He had a temper, looked like a thug, and was unemployed. Ritika, however, told her parents that Akash had cleared an exam and would soon secure a railway job. Akash had brainwashed Ritika so effectively that she stood firm against her family's objections. Left with no choice, Ritika's family gave in and arranged her marriage to Akash Gautam in 2014. The couple started living together in Ghaziabad, but what unfolded next was a tragedy no one could have foreseen. After completing her education, Ritika started working as a teacher in a private school, while Akash took up a job as a clerk in the railways. However, Ritika found Akash's behavior odd. Even after coming home from the office, he would sit on his laptop and work. Ritika knew Akash was a lower division clerk, so she wondered why he was working so hard. To uncover the truth, one day Ritika followed Akash and discovered that he never actually went to work. Instead, he spent his days sipping tea at roadside stalls. Akash was unemployed and had lied to Ritika about his job to marry her. Ritika couldn't share this truth with her family because the marriage had been her choice. When Akash started running out of money, he began demanding it from Ritika and even resorted to physical abuse. Ritika slowly realized how big a mistake she had made by marrying Akash. One day, Akash dragged Ritika out of her school by her hair and took her home. When Ritika, out of frustration, told Akash she wanted a divorce, he began planning to kill her. Akash called his brother and brother-in-law to his aid, and together they set Ritika on fire. However, Ritika had called her mother earlier that day, and her family arrived just in time to save her. Despite being rescued, Ritika sustained severe burns on one leg. After this incident, Ritika started moving frequently to avoid being found by Akash. Eventually, her school's owner, Vipul Agrawal, who had often seen her bruises, offered her a place to stay. Vipul revealed that although he was married, his personal life was troubled, and he lived separately from his wife. Over time, Ritika and Vipul developed a relationship, and Ritika began thinking of a future with him. In 2016, 2 years after her marriage, Ritika moved in with Vipul in Firozabad. For some time, they lived in a flat together. However, Ritika feared Akash might find her. To stay safe, the couple decided to leave Firozabad and shift to Agra. They rented a flat in Om Shri Platinum Society, a building with tight security. Ritika even instructed the security guards to deny entry to anyone unless she personally approved it. She also left her teaching job. Life seemed to settle, and Akash appeared to have forgotten Ritika. But things changed when Ritika gained popularity on Instagram. With many followers and sponsors, she became a known face. One day, Ritika filed a police complaint against Akash and 4 others, stating she feared for her life. She recounted the abuse she had endured in the past. However, due to a lack of evidence, no action was taken. Meanwhile, Akash was determined to find Ritika. After much effort, he discovered her location, flat number 404 in Om Shri Platinum Society, Agra. Knowing the building's high security, Akash devised a plan. On June 20th, 4 days before the tragic incident, Akash and his friend Anil visited the society under the pretense of buying a flat. In reality, they were scoping out the area. Akash concluded that the best way to kill Ritika would be to throw her off the balcony of her flat. On June 24, 2022 at 10:30 a.m., Akash returned to the society with 2 women, Kajal and Kusum, whom he referred to as his sisters, and 2 men, Chetan and Varun. They carried a bag containing ropes. When the security guard questioned them, Akash lied, claiming they were visiting flat number 601. The presence of the women made the group appear like a family, putting the guard at ease. They were granted entry. What followed was a horrifying series of events that shook the quiet society to its core. Akash brings 2 women with him to Ritika's flat and has them knock on the door. Seeing the women, Ritika opens the door, but as soon as she does, all 5 of them storm inside. They begin assaulting Ritika and Vipul. The intruders tie Ritika and Vipul up with ropes. They then drag Vipul into the bathroom and lock the door from the outside. During this time, Akash is constantly on the phone, updating someone about the situation. In just 25 minutes, Akash speaks to this mastermind 8 times. Akash tells Ritika he has come to take her with him. He even tells his 4 companions that he only wants to talk to Ritika. However, Ritika refuses to go with him. Enraged by her refusal, Akash loses control. He ties a piece of cloth around Ritika's neck while her hands are still bound. Akash picks her up and drags her toward the balcony. Soon, Ritika's screams echo throughout the building. Several neighbors later recall that, during her final moments, Ritika was calling out for her younger brother, but Akash had already made up his mind. As soon as he reaches the edge of the balcony, he mercilessly throws Ritika down. He does so with such force that the spot where Ritika lands is completely shattered. At exactly 11:59 p.m., Akash calls the mastermind and coldly informs them that Ritika is dead. After this, Akash goes downstairs to where Ritika's lifeless body lies. He begins untying the ropes from her hands. Meanwhile, Vipul manages to break the bathroom window and screams for help, calling out to the neighbors. Hearing Vipul's cries, several neighbors gather outside. Realizing the crowd has formed, Akash and his companions try to flee. However, the building's guard, having heard the sound of something falling, had already locked the society gate. This traps the group. While 3 of the culprits, Akash, Gautam, Kusum, and Kajal, are caught by the residents, 2 others, Chetan and Anwar, manage to escape. The police arrive at the scene shortly after. They arrest the 3 captured individuals, but the biggest question remains: who is the mastermind coordinating everything over the phone? The police have no initial leads. However, they find a crucial clue: a motorcycle. The motorcycle used by Akash to reach Ritika's flat is traced through its license plate. It turns out the bike is registered to Asha, the mother of Anil Dar. Anil had accompanied Akash during a prior visit to recon Ritika's flat. When police examine Akash's call records, the truth is finally revealed. The mastermind was none other than Dr. Dipali, Anil Dar's sister and Vipul Agarwal's wife. When Dr. Dipali discovered Vipul's affair with Ritika, she began plotting Ritika's murder. Learning about Ritika's estranged husband, Akash, she realized he would be the perfect person for this crime. Akash was paid 5 lakh to kill Ritika. Despite Ritika's parents' best efforts, the police initially refused to arrest Dipali. On the night of the murder, Dipali and Akash had spoken at exactly 11:59 p.m. Even after this, Ritika's parents were threatened by Dipali's uncle's son, Sanjeev Agarwal. He, along with 2 friends, confronted Ritika's parents outside the court, warning them to withdraw the case or face a similar fate. Dipali and everyone involved in this conspiracy were arrested and presented in court. They were subsequently sent to jail. However, the case is still ongoing, and the culprits are yet to be sentenced. This horrifying case highlights the dark depths of human jealousy and betrayal. What do you think about this tragic incident? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this story compelling, please like and share this video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more such stories. Thank you.